So guys, this is a big deal. Tesla has just dropped both the prices of their best-selling Model 3s, the base and the long range all-wheel drive. This is happening simultaneously in the US and in Canada, and depending in which state and province you live, you can get one for as low as $27,000. Now imagine yourself getting into any EV, especially a Tesla, for this insane price. This is just not the best deal that Tesla has ever offered. This is the cheapest you could ever get a long-range Model 3 ever since it was first introduced. Not only that, but you'll be getting all the latest and greatest from the Highland refresh. That means that all the best features from the Model S and X is going to be making its way into a vehicle that is super affordable by all standards, coming in at just under $40,000. Now, you may be questioning why I mentioned $27,000 and then now referencing to $40,000. Well, there is a big difference this time around when it comes to Canada versus the US, and if you'd ask me, this is pretty insane stuff, and this is the very first time this is happening across the nation. So now, let's talk about the specifics of each country, the discounts we are seeing, and the federal and provincial state incentives that are going to come into play. First off, let's talk about Canada and why they have dropped the MSRP even more so than the US. According to the IZEV, or the Zero Emission Vehicles Program, cars within this segment priced at under $55,000 MSRP are going to be qualifying for a $5,000 federal incentive. This will be taken off of the point of sale included with any other provincial incentives that are being offered. So in the case of BC or Quebec, where they are very pro-EV provinces, they are offering up to $9,000 or $12,000 off of the MSRP respectively. This is where you're going to see the bulk of the Tesla and other EV manufacturers have their cars and promote their cars within these provinces. This is a really big deal for the Canadian market, driving up the adoption rate of electric vehicles across the nation, and this is where cities such as Vancouver are going to be seeing Teslas and EVs at every single corner, even more so than larger cities such as LA. Now, just some additional context here for those living outside of Canada, especially outside of the province of Quebec. They are seeing vehicles being sold right now for just shy of $50,000, included in with the $12,000 rebate or credit. You are seeing vehicles at just shy of $38,000. Now that is not all. After doing the currency exchange from Canadian over to the US, you are seeing a car being sold right now for just 27,000 US dollars. That is insane if you think of it in any different scenario. This is a car that has all the best self-driving features, has all the latest tech, and is being sold at such an incredible value. If you further run the numbers, you are going to see that this is practically better than any deal that is being offered in the US, and the cheapest Tesla you can get anywhere in the entire world at 27,000 US dollars. This is just the car that you need to get. Alright, so here's the thing. The reason due to the recent price drop of $1,000 for both trims of the Model 3 is because they have fallen out of the criteria requirements in a certain program. According to recent updates by Transport Canada and the provincial program, they are now requiring vehicles to be updated, and they are now fallen out of the requirements due to the new MSRP threshold. Instead of having the MSRP cap at $55,000, they have now reduced it down to $50,000. This means that vehicles such as the Model 3, where they were previously priced at $51,000, are no longer going to qualify. It also means that the next trim up, which using their tiered system, will be falling out of this threshold as well. So the long range and the base model are no longer going to be within that bracket. If you want to know more about this tiered system or various other Model 3s that Tesla is pushing out, the slowest Model 3 ever has just launched, and there is a lot to talk about. Go check that video out. I'll drop it in the description below and up top there. But getting back to Transport Canada and the BC province, they have now reduced the max cap to $50,000 rather than $55,000. to ensure that everybody is on the same level playing field, as they have noticed that a lot of people have been taking advantage of this offer. With the recent shift, not only are they affecting the Model 3 lineup, but now all the Model Ys are no longer going to be qualifying for this incentive as well. This is such a drastic change with such little notice that even Tesla's North American Twitter page has posted up letting people know that they have within 24 hours of ordering right now before it's all wiped away. But anyways, getting back to the Model 3 here, Tesla has acted quickly, swiftly, and they've gotten the Model 3 back within the thresholds of this requirement. With the $1,000 discount, they have now made the MSRP $49,990, just $10 shy of the maximum cap, making it qualify and thus also making the next trim up qualify. This means that we are not just seeing the cheapest Model 3 ever sold in Canada, but this is going to be the cheapest Model 3 in the entire world, and it comes with a brand new refresh look with all the premium features. Alright, so now let's move on to the US and see what Tesla has done to make the new Model 3 Long Range the best value they have ever offered in their entire lineup. Just last week, in a very sudden surprise, Tesla has decided to reduce the price of their Model 3 Long Range by just $250. Although most of us thought this was nothing, at $250, this could only cover the order fee when you make your purchase. Most of us thought that this was to compensate for the 1.99 APR that dropped off for this trim. However, shortly after the drop, Tesla has surprised us with another price reduction, and this time it's a really big one. As we currently know, the Performance Model 3 qualifies for the $7,500 federal incentive, putting it right next to the price point of the Long Range Model 3, practically making this trim irrelevant in every single sense. We all knew that this was inevitable because the pricing structure and how they set their price point for each of their trim, it was extremely messy and no one could understand why Tesla took this approach. But from yesterday till today, there has been a very big change that really incentivizes us to buy any of the other trims outside of the Performance. In a recent turn of event, Tesla has decided to shift their battery production for the Model Y at Giga Texas over to the Model 3 Long Range. This would then make the Model 3 Long Range qualify for the $7,500 federal incentive due to the batteries being sourced and built within the US. That means that with the Model 3 Long Range now qualifying, it is that much more incentivized to buy over the Performance. Obviously, as we are used to now, with the sudden shift, a lot of people who just have taken delivery of their Model 3 Long Range a few days back are contemplating whether they made the right decision or not. But for new owners looking to get into a brand new Tesla Model 3 Long Range, there is no better time to buy, because as of right now, you can get one for the price of $39,990. Not only are you going to be getting all the best features from the highest end trims, such as premium audio, the better interior, and the dual motor, but you are going to be getting all that for just $1,000 than the base model offering. Now, the reason why it's only $1,000 of a difference is because the Model 3 base model does not qualify due to having batteries built from China. So now this is going to put their vehicle lineup in a very odd situation once again. With the base model only $1,000 less, they are going to be seeing a lot of feature losses from the Long Range to the base, and this means that there is literally no reason to get the standard range over any other trim at this point. Tesla could ultimately just go away with the rear wheel drive offering as they did for the Model Y and every other model, but they could also be taking the approach of moving all production of battery cells and applying it to every vehicle across their lineup within the US, making every single trim qualify, and this would mean that the base rear wheel drive Model 3 would come in at a price point of just $32,000. So to summarize all this, regardless of what Tesla decides to do in the end, we are getting the very best deals within North America, the cheapest cars that you can buy right now with all the best features and upgrades. There is literally no better time to buy than now. So if you are in the market for a brand new Model 3 Highland, this is the point that you want to jump in. Now, before we drop off here, I do want to mention that the greatest concerns for a lot of people is the fact that with Tesla's dynamic pricing strategy and their price drops and and productions happening so often, people are scared that buying a Model 3 right now, or any vehicle for that matter, is going to see a substantial price reduction or devaluation as soon as they pick up their car. But seeing that prices are at an all-time low right now, there is very low chance that it could get any lower than this. So if you are in Quebec, for example, and you're getting a car for 27,000 US dollars, the likelihood of seeing anything less than this is very, very unlikely. So go ahead, this is the time to do it. I think I've said it enough, but I am just so excited that we're finally seeing more valuable, more reasonable cars nowadays, especially in the EV market. Anyways, this should wrap it up for this, but I will continue to keep you guys as updated as possible on everything that comes up. So make sure you stick around and hit that subscribe button, that bell notification if you haven't already done so, and follow me on Twitter at HeyJohnE in case my YouTube channel gets banned or you guys don't hear me on here or whatever the reason might be. You have somewhere to reach out to me. I will try to respond as quickly as possible to all your DMs and all your tweets, so make sure you guys hit me up there. Anyways, this should be it. This is John once again. Peace out.